Let's see what they got to say. Unprecedented.
First, our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, starts us off on the scene at the Palisades wildfire. Good morning, Matt.
Robin, good morning. There's no other way to explain it.
This guy right here is killing it. What's his name? I don't know. Matt or something? We'll figure it out. We'll tag him.
This is an apocalyptic scene. This was the biggest supermarket here in Pacific Palisades. You can see the fire ripping through it. You can hear the crackling of the fire, the hissing of the gases.
Look at that.
Debris collapsing right now as we're speaking. Firefighters helpless to do anything. That was a realtor shop. All along here in 360 degrees were homes around here that have burned. I'm going to have our cameraman come here. There are other businesses across the street that are burning. And right now across this area, firefighters just can't cope with the vastness of this fire.
Yeah, this morning, the vastness of the fire. Absolutely insane, guys. I think this footage is from last night. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I put a lot of hard work into my stream. We're trying to make it as good as possible. I'll be on here every day.
Those apocalyptic scenes in Southern California, now under a state of emergency, with over 50,000 people forced to evacuate their homes, fleeing for their lives as fires burned across LA County. Multi-million-dollar homes incinerated one after the other. The largest fire tearing through the enclave of Pacific Palisades.
Wow,
one of the wealthiest.
Look at that. That's like video game movie worthy. Things like this don't really happen in LA, but it's like when it rains, it pours. I mean, I don't know. It's so dry there. The winds are picking up. Whew. I used to live right there on the beach. I used to live in a van.
In the country, it was fueled by historic winds, burning at a rate of 5 football fields per minute, gutting the Palisades high-end downtown area. Firefighters attacking the more than 2,900-acre wildfire from the ground and the air, but the fire exploding everywhere seemingly at once.
Wow.
Firefighters and locals overwhelmed.
All right, dude. Yeah, let's get out of here. We tried.
Imagine all the content creators that are just like, content, that are living in LA.
Tanner and his friend
This is fire.
Orly racing to escape the home surrounded by flames.
Gotta get out of here. Holy.
A Santa Ana wind event the National Weather Service called the worst in over a decade, turbocharging the fire.
Wow.
The fire is being fueled by a combination of strong winds and surrounding topography, which is making it extremely challenging for our personnel that are assigned to this incident.
Everything is catching fire here.
Dude, this guy looks like he's in a movie. I've been watching him since yesterday. I guess he's been tracking fires for over a decade.
Trash bins, shrubs, trees, houses. The smoke is unbearable at this point. We've just seen, 4 or 5 houses go up over the past few minutes here. The entire area here looks apocalyptic.
It is apocalyptic.
Sparing no one, no vehicle or.
And the thing, it isn't post-apocalyptic, guys. We're in the apocalypse.
Structure safe across Los Angeles County, home to 10 million people. The fire so widespread, no word yet on deaths or injuries. A commercial aircraft flying over the area, capturing the magnitude of the massive fire.
The homeowners are saying they're unable to access any exit routes.
Damn.
There's fire on both sides of the road.
And it's really weird up there. It's not like there's a lot of roads. There's only a couple roads that go in and out of all of these places. You're in the hills.
On Palisades.
And right there on Sunset Boulevard, we saw the gridlock of drivers trying to flee the fire, abandoning their cars. But that made it impossible for firefighters to enter the fire zone, so a fire department bulldozer had to push dozens of the abandoned vehicles out of the way.
This is Sunset Boulevard, right in the heart of Pacific Palisades. And all of these cars, including us at one point, were stuck in this gridlock. And in order for firefighters to actually get to the fires, they had to carve a path. And so a bulldozer literally shoved all of these cars to the side. You can see the bumpers ripped off, the scratches along the vehicles here. There's glass in the roadway.
Dozens of homes obliterated by the flames as residents tried to flee. Flames inching up the hill of the Getty Villa Museum with more than 125,000 priceless artifacts at risk. On Malibu Beach, lifeguard stations ablaze, the ocean right there, but not close enough to save homes and businesses along the Pacific Coast Highway. The Rakusin family...
Oh, it's smoked. The whole village in the Pacific Palisades is done. I used to walk around there a lot, actually. It's pretty crazy because it's like you never really see anything like this. Oh, why don't I add some crazy arts on my stream, like banner panels and overlays? I don't know. I kind of like it raw like this. Oh, you're a professional illustrator designer. I see. Yeah, I don't know.
Closing down what they can before clearing the area, taking
I kind of like it without, to be honest.
With them the hope that their home might be safe.
I started to hose off the home and hose down all of the shrubbery and the trees and bushes.
We don't know whether the house is going to be there or not.
Oh my God!
Also threatening the property of notable.
The house probably ain't there, guys. Sorry to tell you.
Actors. James Woods posting this video from the view of his driveway.
We've got a lot of planes going over, dropping water.
Comedic actor Josh Gad taking to Instagram.
I have never seen flames from my house like this. Ever.
What did you guys think was going to happen? It's finally here.
This is insanity.
And Police Academy star Steve Guttenberg helping his neighbors to safety.
I'm lucky. I'm able-bodied. And I think when you're able-bodied, that's a good moment for you to help out in your community.
And Robin, for firefighters here, there is almost no visibility. The winds here are still at about 20 miles an hour. I had to put this mask on.
Oh, good
I want you to
Lord.
see the ferocity of those flames and how much black gas and smoke they're putting out. They're going to be battling this for days. This fire is not going anywhere. And firefighters right now are strapped. There are simply too many spot fires all over the place for them to be able to contain this and try to put out the embers before the next wind event happens. This is
It's funny that in some way this guy's having an absolute blast.
I've ever seen it. I've been here in the Pacific Palisades at a personal level. Family lives here many, many times. Driving up this morning, I simply couldn't recognize where I was. Robin.
And that says so much. I want Matt and everyone to please stay as safe as you can possibly be at this point.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the worst is far from over.
Far from over. It's actually just begun. They're saying there's 0% containment, and it's been going for like almost like a
These
good
fires,
a good
are just
20,
running out of control.
24 hours right now. Hold on.
Heard what it sounded like explosions there in the hills of the Pacific
Let's see what
Palisades.
CNN has
But it's
to
also
say.
happening in the
Oh, it's right
valleys
here.
and the home of the Rose Parade, Pasadena. Joining us now is Trisha Consentino. She is a Pacific Palisades resident and had to evacuate her home. Thank you so much for joining us. I know this is a really difficult time.
1 second.
When did you realize you were in serious danger and had to get out?
Well, actually, Sarah, my husband and I were taking a walk and we saw the smoke before, maybe 15 minutes before the fire department even was on site. So in the beginning, we really, we get these fires, they happen.
Right.
And we were being looky-loos. We were videotaping and we weren't getting any self-service where we were. When we started walking back to the house, we could see all of the smoke suddenly, and we started to run because we knew it had gotten much worse very quickly.
Right.
We got home. We were getting evacuation orders. We live in the Highlands, which is a canyon community in Pacific Palisades. There's one road going in and out, which is very precarious. And although we were being told to evacuate, we were also being blocked by the road by police. It was very confusing.
It's like when you live so gluttonous, I mean, these people are paying there's $50 million homes in there, man, like that have got burned already. You can't live like that, guys. You just can't live like that. You can't be spending that much money while there's other people just dying on the street. You can't not live like that. Because it hurts when you lose it. And this world, you see how many things dissolve and how much stuff you lose so easily. Materialistically, things break away.
And we decided to risk it and to drive past the police.
So
and
crazy.
It was so unbelievable. The canyon was on fire that I ended up turning back with my son and going back home because we felt we might be safer back at home.
Oh, that's a
and then
terrible,
an hour
terrible
later, things
choice.
just kept getting worse, and we made the decision to try once more.
We're looking at some of the pictures and the videos that you took, Tricia, and they're remarkably scary when you see the fire almost surrounding you as you're trying to get out. Do you know what's happened to your home?
No.
You know, we went to bed around 1 a.m. yesterday. I think, shockingly, although the fire started in the Highlands, I think our community is mostly okay. It went down and headed into town, which has never, ever happened before. So I think my home is okay, but I have a business in the village that I do not think made it. There are a lot of businesses owned by residents.
This is so crazy. The whole place is ripped up. Dude, by tonight, dude, I wonder if it'll go into Santa Monica. That's never happened.
Can you tell me what you experienced as you talked about trying to leave, and I am familiar with the Highlands and how tight it is just trying to get out of any hills, but this is particularly precarious. Can you describe what was going on around you, what you were hearing and experiencing with the wind and as the fire is just raging?
You know, when we first entered the canyon, it looked clear, and it's a bit of an S. The first time we went, we actually picked up a young man who was just walking through the canyon. He worked in the neighborhood, and I made him get in my car.
Oh, that's good. Wow, a nice person. Tragedy brings people together.
And as we turned a corner, the plumes of smoke were just billowing up the road. There was burnt ash. There were flames on either side of us. The car was very quickly getting smoky. We had wet towels over our faces. And the cars ahead of us were not moving. There's also all of this debris had fallen on the road. There were rocks.
It's funny. It's like we don't have to start a nuclear war. God's just going to do it on his own. Like, oh, you think you got nuclear bombs? Well, how about a fire in L.A.? Just burn all your shit down.
Small boulders. So that first attempt, I realized if I can't see, I might get caught.
Right.
The second time we went down, we actually had a police escort, and they had cleared the debris.
Damn,
at the
she's just been driving up and down, back and forth. I would have just, if I'm leaving once, I would never go back.
Bottom of the road, there must have been 30 or 40 abandoned cars. So I'm really glad we didn't try that first time, because I don't know if we would have gotten through. There were just vehicles on fire, on the road, burning.
Jesus.
There's a church school at the bottom of the
That's
hill.
insane. Like, it almost looks like a Hollywood performance. It is Hollywood. Don't ever put that past any of this shit. This legacy media, man.
Some of my students go to it. It was on fire. The grocery store, I mean, it actually, it was so surreal. I felt like we were in that movie, The War of the Worlds. I didn't recognize the streets that I were on as our own.
War of the Worlds.
That is harrowing.
Didn't that happen in Los Angeles? Was based. We'll look at some clips of that too. Let's see where it was based.
The way that you described all that, and I'm so glad you picked up that young man who was walking around, because he may not have survived. Just looking at the pictures now, I know that you own this tutoring business in Pacific Palisades, and you believe that that may be gone. Where are you now, and how are you and your family doing?
My husband, I'm recently remarried, and my husband has a home actually about an hour and a half outside.
I'm recently remarried. What is that? Guys, I'm off the market.
Of the Palisades, so we had somewhere to go. So
yeah, War of the Worlds was shot in Los Angeles.
my family
so
is.
Yeah, it's coming to life now. War of the Worlds. Interesting. Do you think this was a terrorist attack?
Safe.
It's like too hard to drop a bomb on some place like that. So you don't think that you could plan to start a fire over months and like find the connections? It's fucking insane.
My daughter luckily just went back to college a few days before. We have our pets. Everyone I've spoken to, all of our friends, my clients, everyone is safe. I would say half of the people
they bulldozed all those cars to the side.
I have
Maybe
about
not.
200 students. I think about half of the people I know have lost their homes.
Wow.
Half of the people.
Wow. Half of the people. Dude, the rich, homeless rich now.
People you know
It's
have
really-
lost their homes.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
I watched them burning up.
It's so.
That's
so
crazy. That's crazy. You don't even have to drop bombs on this place, man.
Scary doesn't even cover it, but then you have to turn around and go back and see what's happened to your neighborhood, and you've already seen the destruction, and it's going to likely get worse. Trisha Constantino, thank you so much. I'm very happy to see that you and your family survived this, and hopefully
Absolutely.
your home will as well. I appreciate you coming on this morning and speaking to us.
Thank you.
Do you think the people in, like, imagine how much, like, gluttony and, like, manipulation and selfishness a lot of people in LA have been living? You have to pay that back. You remember? Nothing is for free. You eventually have to pay back every extra little thing you took. And sometimes it comes at the cost of everything you've done.
That's just so horrible, Sarah. Think any half of the people you know losing their homes is just, that's gut-wrenching and so sad. And such a reality that I'm sure more and more people
it's
are
going to
facing
be
right
wild.
now. Let's get over to CNN's meteorologist Derek Van Dam to see what the next few hours are going to be like. Derek, we're still hearing that this is going to get worse before it begins to improve. What are you expecting in the next few hours?
Yeah, unfortunately, I do believe that the most intense part of the Santa Ana wind event will be occurring in the coming hours. So the next few hours will be absolutely critical for firefighters and the residents who are unfortunately dealing with this moment. Hey, I listened to a press report from Governor Newsom yesterday saying that this is no longer fire season. This is fire year. It happens all year round. And now we had the battalion chief, public information officer from CAL FIRE on earlier this morning talking about this is the third time they've actually had the incident management team deployed in the month of January fighting these major fires.
You heard houses are getting looted? Oh, I'm sure. Thugs don't care about shit like that. They'll go in, they'll be like, I'm gonna fight this fire. I'm gonna shoot at the fire.
Fires here in Los Angeles County. So that's really saying something. And going back to Stephanie Elam's reporting, talking about how palm trees become literal flamethrowers. This is an example of just that. Look at how the embers from that just get picked up by the intense winds and driven across the roadways at such a rapid rate. That is what we call erratic fire and extreme fire behavior. This is the moment the Palisade fires, one of 3 major fires burning out of control, 0% containment over western LA County, ignited yesterday afternoon. You could see the direction of the wind funneling.
Wow.
Up
I don't even know what to say. I'm pretty
ranges.
speechless.
So here is
it's right there. It's creeping right down into town.
CAL FIRE map showing you the burned areas of the Palisades fire. Here is western LA County. This is Santa Monica. This is the burned area, and you can see the ravines and the canyons here that these spot fires ignite new additional fires, and those are all buildings that have either burned or are currently burning as we speak. The wind direction is critical. Will it move a little bit to the more of a northerly direction? So that would put more of the western LA County densely populated residential area at threat. We need to monitor that very closely because at the moment right now, it's gusting over 60 miles per hour. There will be a relaxing in the winds through the course of the day before it picks up again overnight tonight. Not as extreme as what we experienced overnight last night. However,
oh, nice.
However, we do anticipate the critical fire weather behavior.
I think it's just growing and they're just kind of like standing back, spraying their hose like, yeah, I don't know if this is even really doing anything. I heard they're tapped out with resources. Completely tapped out with resources.
Continue right through Thursday at least. Here, Kate, is the latest 3 fires that we are monitoring. And again, this is the driest start to the water year that Southern California has ever experienced.
The whole place is going to burn down. This is
As
it.
you have there at the
We're at the quarter of a century, and it's like your report card. It's like, what'd you do this semester? Oh, no. Y'all are getting burned down.
museum.
It's like, yup, you guys done.
There at the villa.
Here, let's see. I think this is live, guys.
Yeah, we're doing well right now. I just want to say, our hearts and thoughts go out to everybody in Los Angeles and Southern California community. This is quite a firestorm that we're all experiencing. We're doing well. As you mentioned, the villa is safe.
Let's road trip there. Hey, you know what, dude? That's actually strangely, that's an idea. That seems like just live stream the whole thing too.
And the buildings are intact, and our staff that are essential to be there to support firefighting.
Dude, I'm bringing my own hose.
And operations are safe. So things are well at this point. There was some burning on the property and the vegetation and trees.
And what do you...
You know what? I don't think there's anything to rebuild. I think it's like the earth telling people to get the fuck out. Get off this like precious land. And any moment the earth can combine its powers and just burn you and all your bullshit away. So I don't think there's anything to rebuild other than planting trees. That's what we should do, is plant trees. And I don't think people should be building homes. I mean, when you look at it, you're not supposed to be building homes on that land, all those hills. It doesn't even make sense. You know, maybe help people out. Fuck rebuilding though. But helping people out would be dope to do something. There's a lot of rich homeless people. I can guarantee a lot of people didn't even have fire insurance, stuff like that. Because it's expensive.
You're hearing in terms of the surrounding areas. Have you been in court and when it could be released after this?
Wow. That is too crazy. What have we'll find the other videos I had. Let's watch some live footage. See what Fox has to say.
Southern or one of those northern or midwestern states, people don't associate us with like farming and ranching. But in LA, there are so many horse people, all different kinds. You got rancheros and vaqueros and charros from the Mexican community. You got black and white cowboys all over. It's
crazy, like all that farmland just gone.
Some natives. You got.
I guess this is kind of funny. Like how these houses on this land are like $50 million. I'm sure there'll be a price cut now. I don't know if it's this valuable. So it's good time to get into the market. I would start willowing some stuff.
People that do
or Zillow.
Jumpers, all types of horses and all type of discipline and horse lovers all over the county. So I would definitely say thousands.
So what is the best way for people to contact you if they're in need of your services?
They can definitely text me to my phone number. Our number is 818-312-5936.
Okay, and we're showing your information as well.
A half-burnt mansion? Yeah, you could get those on there. They got them now.
For Instagram and
dude, the smell of fire though, if you've ever been into a building that was caught on fire, is so terrible to be in. The Starbucks got burnt down like not too far from here, and I knew the owner of the building because I was doing drone work for him, and I went into the Starbucks. It smelled like rotten milk and just just fire. It was so fucking bad, and this was like 6 months after the fire happened.
Website, but give us your number
It'll suffocate you.
again.
818-312-5936.
Now, can you?
My name is Randy. And I have a. I'm pulling a big 6-horse polo trailer and a big rig, so I can fit some. If you got little ones, I could probably take about 8 of them. And if you got big ones, really big ones, I could probably get about 5 of them in here.
Oh, that's nice of them. Now we got a horse rancher picking up horses.
Some of the coverage courtesy of our partners down at Fox 11 in Los Angeles as they continue to bring us some of these compelling images.
Very
speaking
cool.
to a gentleman on the phone there in regards to these mass evacuations and also how people are trying to get their animals safe, specifically when it comes to these horses. A lot of these ranches have been impacted.
I'm glad I'm not there right now, to be honest with you. But it does seem like at the beginning of the year, stuff always goes down in LA. The first 3 months, like last year, it didn't stop raining for, I don't know, 45 days or something.
We do have live pictures still of the fires that are currently burning all across Southern California. Take a look at this. We do want to step away for a quick commercial break at Live Now from Fox, but we continue with more of this coverage. The fires burning in Southern California when we come back.
Holy schmoly, guys. Holy schmogoli. Let's look at some of these videos I had. Well, let's look at what is
this was also another scene earlier. This is when a lot of people had nowhere to go. They abandoned their cars because the flames were fast approaching.
Go get footage. Just filming like traumatized people. What happened? Can you tell us what happened? Get the fucking camera out of my face. I'm sure there's enough people there filming footage. I'll stand on the sidelines. I'll send you out there as a reporter. I'll set you up in like a we could get a little house in the Pacific Palisades. You could crash in. Free rent.
As a result,
they told everyone to leave all their houses unlocked.
LA City Fire, they had to come in because the road was completely blocked. They bulldozed all the cars off to the side to make that emergency route to clear it out. Eric Scott of LAFD and LAPD Chief Jim McDonald, they were asked about this situation. Here's what they had to say.
So questions about abandoned cars. That's a good question that has come up. Law enforcement assists us heavily with evacuation. But please remember, it's an active incident. We don't have the answers to all of these questions. We will certainly look at that. That's very important.
We can go on kayaks? Dude, imagine the people living in boats. They're like, what are we going to fucking do after they can't move? Well, they might have to go out to sea and hang out to sea for a while until the fire cools down.
I don't know if police felt like they wanted to make a mention to evacuations. Here. Okay.
Yeah, just on that question of evacuations, vehicles left on the roadway. If you have to leave a vehicle on the roadway, get it as far off the road as you can so that emergency vehicles can't get by.
That's crazy that they have to leave their vehicles on the roadways. It's just too much of a traffic jam or something.
The gist of moving them with bulldozers was an emergency situation. You got to get those fire resources through, and they do what they have to do to be able to facilitate that. So we're asking really for the cooperation and think a couple of steps ahead. It's not just your vehicle.
Hey, life's a boat. Water doesn't burn. That's part of my new spoken word poem called Life is a Boat. Part 2, water doesn't burn.
Then Others line up behind you as well as they see what you're doing. And so I can't stress enough, please follow the evacuation orders. Do your best to be able to get out to safety. Bring the equipment you will need for the next couple of days with you, because as you've heard over and over again, this is not going to end very quickly.
But this is very, very...
Dude, it's going to go on for a while. It's going to go on for a while, guys. It's...
Surrounding property of his.
Kevin, what do you think? End times or what? What do you really think? Maybe you started it posting about the wheel, bro. You lit it on fire. The wheel will still remain, you know? It's not like that wheel is still going to remain. Without a doubt. That's part of the earth. The trees might be toasted. The wheel remains. The fire wheel. The freaking fire wheel, dude. Thanks to Kevin. Thanks to Kevin. Maybe you started posting about it so much online. Life is a wheel. That's actually a better quote. You started posting about the wheel so much that the higher ups had to just try to cover it up. They had to try to burn it down.
Of covering wildfires in Southern California. We're in one of the main residential streets in what is a packed residential neighborhood right now.
Life is a banana.
We've been watching these two homes burn basically over the last 30 minutes, and I can tell you this.
Life is a banana boat.
We don't have official figures yet, but when they come in, the number of homes burned just in this neighborhood, I have no doubt whatsoever is going to be in the hundreds. You look at this one here. This was burning high flames when we got here. Two-story home. The top story, as you can see, already collapsed, and part of it collapsing into the home next door.
It's crazy because they're just standing out there while these houses like slowly burn. They're just like, yep, and then it goes to the next one, to the next one, to the next one.
You can see that one is now beginning to catch fire, and firefighters, frankly, are still on a life-saving mission, not a property-protecting mission in situations like this. So,
you know what? Los Angeles restarting is not a bad thing. I mean, obviously, it's putting a lot of people out on the street. This is my selfish thought of, like, culture and stuff like that. But, yeah, lower the prices.
That house is probably going to
clear everyone out. Get everyone out of there. I'm moving in. Me in a big-ass mansion.
Go to, and we bring you back to another one next door, and you can look straight through the front door. That is an apocalyptic scene. Everything that anybody had in that home. And there goes the wall.
Oh my God.
There goes the front wall of that home.
What a beautiful piece of footage.
Just another scene like so many we have seen and witnessed over the last 24 hours, just collapsing as the fire rages through it. And as we turn to
this
Brian,
is too
our
poetic.
cameraman's
It seems like a movie, but it's not.
right here, and look up the street. There is nothing. This is an entire street, and we're not talking about, we so often go to fires that...
See, I don't trust the government. Do you? No.
The 30, 40, 50 miles...
They're always up to something. They're always up to something. I feel like this is planned. You know, every conspiracy theorist. Was it a directed weapon? An energy weapon? I do have the exact address where they say that the fire started. So we'll get to that in a minute.
Miles outside of LA, smaller neighborhoods. This is in the heart of LA. This is a densely packed neighborhood, and this is just one street. And there is nothing left.
There's probably a lot of people that are out of town too, and they're just watching everything crumble.
On this street standing, not a single home. And if you pan up to the right a bit and you see the smoke rising there, frankly, it is a scene of an apocalypse. It's just extraordinary. Absolutely breathtaking, the amount of damage that has been done here. And so many people over the next days, weeks, months are going to come back and find that they have nothing to come back to.
He's like, I'm the guy who reported your house falling apart.
Destroyed. We're talking about a 3,000-acre fire at last count. I believe in the next hour, or 40 minutes or so, when we get an update, we are going to see that figure much higher. And as I say, the figures in terms of the homes, the buildings, the businesses destroyed. Here in this Palisades neighborhood, my son's old middle school was on fire last night, is very, very badly damaged. My daughter currently goes to Palisades Charter High
Hold on, after this, I'll look it up.
Half a mile or so down the road here. That was on fire last night. We have not been close enough to get an update on how badly damaged that is. But that's 3,000 high school students who may simply not have a high school to go back to when school resumes for that particular school next Monday. So it's
it's insane. So it's not even 10 o'clock there yet. So here's the address. It's 1190 Piedra Morada Drive. So it's right here. There's Santa Monica, downtown Santa Monica. And then here's Pacific Palisades. And this is where they say it started. Right next to the Palisades Hills Recreation Center. This exact spot. They said it right around there. So look at it from a large. I would say, where would the wheel be? The wheel would be like right here, maybe? Or what? I'm trying to think. Would it be up here? There's Topanga. Apparently, the Getty Villa Museum might be burned down. Shit. What was LA.ca. Hold on. Or fire. Something like that. They said they have like a 3D map of the fire, like real time. That's not it. Fire.ca.gov. Is it this? Yeah, it is. Here. Let's look down here. Oops. What the fuck? Okay. Look, there's 4 fires actually happening in 4 different areas. Holy schmoly. This is the big one right here that we're talking about. Oh my God. Where's Venice? Well, it's decently far, keeping its distance from Santa Monica. I don't know if it'll cross over the freeway. That's not a freeway, but whatever road that is. And then Venice is right here. Little Venice. It ain't far. That's the closest I've ever seen. For sure. It's never gone into town over here before. There is a 3D map. 3D map beta. Let's check it out. Let's check it out, chat. Okay, 3D map. I tried to send this to you, Kevin, earlier, but it just wouldn't send. Here we go. Wait, is this a 3D? How do you get 3D? I wonder how many people are looking at this right now. Evacuation order goes. Look, it spills a little bit into Santa Monica, dude. It's growing. The evacuation is growing, dude. It's in Santa Monica. Evacuation. Holy shit. The city of Santa Monica has issued evacuation warnings for this area. Insane. This is going to cause a lot of catastrophe for people living there. Seriously. I'll have to call some people here in a little bit. What time is it? There was a 3D. I don't know why it's not going to 3D. It did on my phone. Anything else on here? This is a good map, though. This is the best map, if you need one. Fire.ca.gov. I heard the mayor, they call him Gavin Newsom. Maybe he planned this whole thing. You never know. You never know about these fucking guys, dude. Let's see, 17 minutes ago. Wait, we got aerial views. Let's check out the aerial views.
Took off. You see the home in the middle of your shot. That's on fire. That's going to be lost. They're trying to knock that down as best as they can, because once you get inside, fire starts consuming a home. There's a lot of fuel in there, and of course there's a lot of embers in there, and those are thick embers that could travel, a mile and then start a spot fire somewhere else. So they really want to try and do the best they can.
It's crazy how it's just like randomly catching on a fire or a house like that.
One engine there, it looks like, that has the ability to get water on that home, and right now they're just hoping it doesn't spread to others. Tilt up a little bit. That home looks lost right there in the middle. On the top of your screen, there's another home. I believe this was Chapman Court, if I'm not.
It's funny. Everything going down. Yeah, it's funny because you're like, with so much money, no matter the location, you still cannot escape Mother Nature.
Mistaken. There's another home that was lost. Lilac Canyon Lane, actually. There's another home that is lost. And all of these homes are immediately threatened because they really don't have enough resources to protect them all. So, boy, it's a sad day. It's been a sad couple days. These fires, they're heartbreaking, and I feel for these folks. I had a couple burn right up to my home. I know what it's like to be evacuated, and boy, that's a struggle as well. And then I know what it's like to try and find a place to go. You know what happens when you have this many evacuations, if you don't have a family member to go live with, you got to go to a hotel. And guess what? You start checking the hotels, and they're all booked. And you have to travel a long ways to find one. That happened to me in the Woolsey fire. So we're just keeping an eye on it from the air. But unfortunately, what we're seeing right now does not look good. We're going to have a long couple of days ahead of us. It's going to be a real struggle until the winds die down. If the winds die down,
that you can go
if we could just get a day with little to no wind, I think they'll make some progress. But in the meantime, this is going to be extremely tough.
Scott, thank you.
Rest in peace, all the wildlife.
Thank you so much. As you keep an eye on that, just those heroic actions by firefighters, especially given the resources they have. We've got some information just coming into the Eyewitness newsroom about the Getty Villa in Pacific Palisades. The statement is that the Getty Villa in Pacific Palisades remains safe and intact this morning, January 8th, and will be closed at least through early next week. While trees and vegetation on the property have burned, Getty structures have been unaffected. And
yeah, they're trying to just, they saved the fire station, obviously. So they're picking and choosing with their resources.
Thankfully, both staff and the collections are safe. So,
do you think this has to do with anything with Trump coming into the office and they got to get rid of evidence?
That's the latest information and update on the Getty Villa.
We want to return now to Eyewitness News reporter Josh Haskell, who is live in Pacific Palisades, where this crisis feels incomprehensible. We have learned that incredibly 1,000 structures have burned there.
Jesus.
Josh, what is the latest?
The latest is that more homes continue to burn here. This home just went up on Rivoli Drive and Amalfi, and now the home to the left and to the right of it are both starting to catch fire. And the biggest problem, Rachel, Leslie, and John, Tim, can we pan and show there's only one fire engine here? This is from Santa Clara, California.
Oh my God. This is sad. This is showing such a lack of resources.
These guys are doing the absolute best that they can, but behind their truck, you'll see that actually an ember from that home about 150 feet away blew and caught the shrubs of these two homes, and they tried to put out
Yeah, that's all it takes is blowing embers, dude. Insane.
that fire so those homes didn't catch fire. There are just not enough resources here. Again, one engine as we bring you back right now, there is a home that is completely engulfed right now. And the reason why we came here, as I've been reporting, is that a woman, and this has happened a few times in the Palisades Riviera community, a woman came up to me, she was crying, she said, my house is burning right now on Rivoli Drive. Can you please help me? I had to tell her that we are with ABC 7 Eyewitness News. We're not firefighters. We let the firefighters know. But I can tell you that there's just, not only is there not enough resources, but the wind is really, really kicking up. So although I've heard and seen some airplanes in the distance circling, I've not seen a single water drop. And that's something that they could really use right now. This is as close as we can get. You see those flames, Tim?
They're so not prepared. People might just give up. Firefighters might just give up, pack their bags, and get out of there.
It looks like maybe that other house.
Can you really contain it, though? That's the truth. Can you really stop it? There's too much shit, you know? One ember catches onto a house, the other house, it's going to just go and go and go.
Is catching fire right now. So as we try and process what has happened in Pacific Palisades, as Rachel said, over 1,000 structures burned, we need to highlight that this fire is far from over. And you guys are just seeing the winds right now.
Wow.
And Rachel,
look
Leslie
at
and John,
that.
you brought up
The
earlier
wind's
that,
just blowing.
I grew up in
Oh
this
my
community,
God.
spent
This
a lot
is
of time here. I know the
hell. Hell is burning over.
Extremely well. My parents had to evacuate. I do not know yet the status of their home because we've not been able to get there. We started.
People in LA have remained untouched for a very, very long time.
Driving into the fire zone, and we had to stop here in Pacific Palisades, in the Palisades Riviera community, because there was an active firefight taking place. So this is where we are right now. Hopefully at some point today I can check on their house, but that's just the situation that so many people in this area are dealing with, something that they have not dealt with in decades.
Yeah,
I've lived, grew up in Palisades, spent so much time here. There's never been a fire like this. My parents have never had to be evacuated. Yesterday was the perfect storm, and it's the perfect storm that's sadly continuing right now this morning.
It just begun.
I thought I may wake up and things may be calm and helicopters will be able to fly and drop some water, but there's more homes going up right now.
Unbelievable, just simply unbelievable. Thank you so much for that, Josh. We're going to now go to Gabe Santos, who's in Air 7 over the Palisades fire. Gabe, what's the latest?
Well, Leslie, good morning to you, but it is not a good morning for the folks down there in the Palisades. No. What you are looking at there in the center of your screen is what we believe to be Palisades Drive, and we see homes burning on both sides of Palisades Drive. There's communities further to the south on Palisades Drive and further to the north where the road kind of bends. We're working on getting exact addresses for you there, but you can see as Josh, our photographer, kind of tilts down the road there, there are multiple homes that are currently on fire and other homes that are a complete loss. I've counted dozens of homes from this perspective that are currently on fire, once again, on Palisades Drive. And as we widen out the shot, you can see there's still a lot of fire activity in the area. All of the hills around the Palisades are still actively on fire. And as we continue to pan to the right, there's another hillside that we're working on getting you an exact address for this, but this appears to be the Topanga area, the Wildwood and the Fernwood communities.
Dude, it's beautiful up there. It's just sad that all that is getting burned.
Along Tuna Canyon.
Not even the people's houses, like just the environment is getting toasted.
Road. We see a number of homes up in flames on that mountaintop. This appears to be near the Saddle Peak tower of antennas, and as you know, we look at this shot here, you can see that home there that looks to be an amazing $1 million home, completely up in flames. A lot of black smoke coming up from there, and this fire
amazing $1 million
appears to kind of skip.
Here, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a break from that for a little bit and see if I'm gonna, while we watch this next video,
We don't know. We know that multiple people in the fire area, in the 3 fire areas, have been taken to the hospital, some with burns, some for smoke inhalation. But when it comes to medical issues, those are kept extremely private, and understandably so. She was in tears, and she left. She had come here, and when she saw the devastation, she went to her friend's house, and she saw that it had burned to the ground. You can just imagine the pain.
Appreciate it. We love you. We love you, Kevin. I appreciate it. I'm checking on some last updates, see if anything happened. Every day, though, man. Definitely. And all the videos will be on YouTube.
For her friend, that she doesn't know where her friend is.
Hopefully it can even evolve into more, but I think that if I do it every day, no matter what, it will evolve on its own without me having to push it too hard.
I cannot see a single mobile home. There may be some way in the back that has survived this.
And know what's funny about the background behind me is like how most people have like the world or LA behind them as like a talk show. This is like a Wax Adams Fortnite map.
This is very reminiscent of the Sayre fire back in 2008, the Oak Ridge Mobile Home Park, where almost 500 homes burned to the ground. We were there. We met for days.
I can't wait to see pictures of the wheel.
Everything.
After this.
I'll never forget meeting one woman, and she was sifting through the ashes, and she was looking for the urn that had the ashes of her late husband. And she
looks
said,
like some spooky demonic devil right here in the middle with big bat wings. Look, an eye here. There's a nose, an eye, 2 horns, big wings right here flying.
Ironic, his ashes are now mixed in with the ashes of what once was our home. And she was so heartbroken because that was all she felt she had left of her husband. And it was devastating. And the folks here, they'll be returning, and most likely they will have lost things that can't be replaced. Homes can be rebuilt.
Oh, Colin, yeah, I'll get back to that. You know, I'm making out a schedule where I'm going to add certain things each day, like Monday, Motivational Monday, Tuesday, things like that. So I'll figure it out along the way.
You can buy another mobile home, surely, hopefully, if you have insurance. And keep in mind, we're hearing from a lot of folks in this area who do not have insurance. There's been a rash of fire insurance policies that have been canceled. So not everyone will have the money to rebuild, to rebuy, to repurchase their homes and build them up. And I want to pan over there because we're seeing plumes of dark black smoke continue to come from the different neighborhoods.
Let's see. Okay, one more checkup. Where the fuck? Shit's going slow now. And if any more developments any more developments happen, I may have to go on live a little bit later. But always at noon, guys. Always at noon.
To call my friend Michelle Gropper. She had to evacuate from her home early this morning. She lives just next door to Altadena. That's where the dangerous Eaton fire has been burning. She got the evacuation order, and sure enough, she packed up and she got out of there. Michelle, I'm so glad that you were able to call in. I know you're exhausted. I know that you want the family to get some sleep right now. So let me just start with, how are you doing? How's the family? And tell me about
it's still 2 confirmed
the evacuation order,
when
you got it, and what you knew you had to do.
Well, first of all, Kira, hi, and thanks so much for your lovely text this morning and checking in on me. It was a lovely thing to see in my inbox. And I would just like to say that my experience in no way compares to what so many people are experiencing right now with losing their homes. So I'll tell you my experience, but I just have to say, like, I feel very fortunate that I am out of my home. We did have to evacuate, but we are safe. And fortunately, we had enough time to get those precious belongings, those essentials out of the house in time. So I feel really grateful for that. a lot of people, as we saw in videos yesterday, especially in Pacific Palisades, just running down streets with suitcases. Some people only able to grab their purses and their car keys and, you know, getting out as fast as they could. They weren't so fortunate to have that time to think about what they might like to take with them.
Right.
But we did. So answering your question about how it went down yesterday, we were keeping a close eye on the fire that broke out in Pacific Palisades in the morning. And then I was just kind of out doing normal things during the day at a doctor's appointment, going about my day. It was very windy.
Okay.
And whenever it's windy and, you know, there's a fire burning, you're in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, I just need to get stuff prepared at home, because you just never know when it could break out near you. Something could happen near you. So I get home and the power is now out. It's the late afternoon, and I start thinking about, okay, we need to start getting some things together, but just a few things. Like, I still wasn't too worried about it because it's Pacific Palisades. We live, as you said, closer to Altadena.
Hey, money isn't going to keep God from knocking on your door.
Which is it's north of Los Angeles. It's like a suburb north of Los Angeles. And so not too close to Pacific Palisades. But nonetheless, we are, you know, mindful and knowing how things can quickly shift, wanted to have a few things prepared. But then, as we're watching things unfold, it's around 7 o'clock, I hear a helicopter go up Angeles Crest Highway, which is a famous roadway we live off of. And I'm like, that's not a good sign, because there aren't a lot of helicopters flying right now because it's very windy, and they're only going to fly if they have to. And sure enough, about 15 minutes after that, we learn of the fire that broke out in Altadena, which is the neighboring community to us. We live in La Cañada, Flint Ridge. And that's when my daughter, who's home from college, and my husband and I were like, okay, we need to start getting more than just like our eyeglasses and medications. Like now let's start thinking about
it's getting serious.
Yeah, let's get serious and let's like start packing the car. So that's what we started doing. We got the car loaded up, the cars, our two cars loaded up, and then we went to bed and slept with our draperies open to begin with so we could look out on our canyon side. We're in a 2-story home, and it's kind of a watchtower, our house. We can see down into Pasadena. We can see toward Altadena. So it's a very good lookout point in terms of seeing a fire develop. So we're just going to lie in bed, and if there's an orange glow, we're going to get out.
Jesus.
And we just kind of went in and out all night. And then at 4:30, I woke up, and I see the plume from, see an orange plume. And then I saw a neighbor on the street outside of our home, and I went out and talked to him, and he said that they were getting ready to go. And then I called my neighbor next door and asked if she was okay and if she needed anything. And she was good, but was worried about her mother, who was at a care facility in Altadena. And I have since learned that her mother's care facility burned to the ground, but thankfully her mother was evacuated. But living where we are, we know a lot of people who have been impacted by the fire in Altadena. So we feel just really fortunate that we are okay.
Is that just a lady?
We are under mandatory evacuation. We're in a safe spot. And now we're just kind of watching and waiting,
Yep.
And sometimes that's the hardest part.